Roger Metzger up here to lead off, and we're about set with 1972 Candlestick Park style. As the scoreboard says, play ball, and we're ready for just that. Metzger to bat right-handed against the left-hander John Cumberland, then Cedeno and Wynn. The outfield shallow for Metzger, who takes a strike. Home plate umpire Paul Pryor. Harry Wendelstedt at first, Bruce Fleming at second, Ed Bargo at third. Giants shortened defense with Gallagher and Kingman playing up close on the corners. The pitch is low for a ball. 1-1. Henderson, medium deep in left. Mays slightly in right center and Bonds in right. The Giants are going to have to become familiar with how this pitch misses outside for ball two. How the ball acts in Candlestick now. It's certainly going to be different than it was before the park was enclosed. As to where it carries and what the wind currents might do to it. There's very little wind here now. Check swing. He started to go to Metzger at a high fastball, held off, and it's 3 balls and a strike. And now Charlie Fox is asking the home plate umpire to check with the first base umpire, and Wendelstedt says he swung at it. Charlie was yelling at Pryor to check with Wendelstedt, and Paul heard him and looked down there, and Wendelstedt said, yes, it's a strike, Coach, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Chop foul behind the plate. Healy has it. Credit Fran Healy with being one of the big stars in last night's win in San Diego. His 2 throws. One cutting down Jeter at third. And the other one getting Don Mason at first. Helped bail the Giants out. Fine throw. Heady thinking on Healy's part. Popped up, foul, playable maybe for Kingman. He's over near the seats. He has room. He makes the catch, and that's out number 1. The first out of the 72 season at Candlestick. Pretty good crowd on hand here tonight. There's nothing like the excitement of Major League Baseball, and there's no other car quite like the 72 Monte Carlo by Chevrolet. The agility of a sporty car, the ride and comfort of a luxury car. Chevrolet wants your new Monte Carlo to be the best car you ever owned. Cesar Cedeno hitting .400. Metzger was up there with a 111 batting average. Cedeno, 8 for 20. One of the fine young stars in the game. He chased Jim Wynn out of center field over to right. It's to Cedeno, swung on and missed the curve. He might have foul tipped that. It bounded away from Healy. Montreal defeated St. Louis 2-1. The Mets defeated the Cubs 2-0. Pittsburgh beat Philadelphia 3-2. Line drive, base hit to center field. Right over Cumberland's head. Bobbled by Mays, but he picks it up and throws a strike to second, and Cedeno has to hustle back in. The Mets beating Chicago 2-0. Bert Hooton against Tom Seaver in that one. And Hooton, who had pitched a no-hitter his last time out, gave up a hit to the first batter he faced on the third pitch. Bud Harrelson, who had 3 hits in the game, singles. And they scored 2 runs off Hooton in the 5th inning as the Mets and Seaver beat Hooton and the Cubs 2-0. Cedeno at first. Jim Wynn takes a strike on the inside. In the American League, Baltimore beat Cleveland 6-0, and Texas leads California 7-6 after 8 innings. Cedeno at first with the first hit of the game. He has his lead, and Cumberland throws over there. Jim Wynn, the batter. Wynn hitting .300, 6 for 20. Pitch to Wynn. Line down the left field line, foul into the bullpen. Kicked back out onto the playing surface. A 2-strike count on Wynn. If Jim comes back and has a good year, percentage and slugging percentage, Houston is going to be awfully tough to beat. Wynn is off to a pretty good start. Right-hand batter, closed stance. Cedeno with his lead at first. Doesn't go. The fastball outside for a ball, and it's 1-2. In case you have forgotten, from one season to the next, Candlestick Park is completely turf, artificial turf, just the sliding boxes, the pitching mound, and the home plate area are dirt. Cedeno leads at first with a 1-2 pitch to Wynn. The curve low for a ball, and it's 2-2. The distance is here. 335 to left. 330 down the right field line. 410 to straightaway center. 365 to left center. 375 to right center. It may be that the left field fences will be a lot easier for the right-hand hitters to reach now with this stadium enclosed. Cedeno leads with a 2-2 count to Wynn. The pitch is swung on and fouled, and Wynn stays alive, and that one winged Healy. Cumberland turned that one over, a screwball to the right-hand batter, and Wynn just got a piece of it, enough of it to wing Fran Healy. Outfield deep and around to the left. Boston defeated the Yankees 5-4 tonight. Milwaukee at Detroit rained out. Kansas City at Chicago rained out. Cincinnati beat Atlanta 4-3. Cumberland stretch and the pitch. A bit high. That was close. It's 3-2. Although you probably wouldn't think about it that much, Harry Wendelstedt mentioned it. The fact that the umpires have to get in shape too, calling balls and strikes behind the plate. They had a layoff, throw to first by Cumberland. And just getting back behind the plate the first time in almost a month, it's a little tough. There goes the runner. The pitch is swung on a miss. Healy's throw to second is not in time. He's in there as Cedeno made a headlong slide. One is claiming that he had him. Healy's throw was in the dirt. Tito made a good play to dig it out and try to apply the tag, but Cedeno had slid around him as Cesar gets his second stolen base of the year. The strikeout for Cumberland. 2 men down, and Lee May, the guy brought over to Houston from Cincinnati for the object of hitting home runs. He has 6 hits and 20 trips for a 300 average, 2 RBIs. Cedeno leads at second. May hits a high pop fly to center. May drifts in under this one. He taps the mitt. He has it. The side retired. Cumberland retires him in the first. No runs on a hit. No errors, and the runner left on. We go to the bottom of inning number 1. It's 0-0.
I know there are a lot of baseball fans who also enjoy another kind of fresh air sport, boating. Well, being out on the water in your own boat can be pretty exciting. But as in any sport, you have to keep your equipment in top condition. And there's one great way to make sure you're in safe water on that score. Tie up at a Chevron Marina. Chevron Marine dealers everywhere will provide you with high-quality Chevron Marine products and the latest accessories for your boat, as well as updated reports on weather conditions. You see, a Chevron Marina is more than a place to tie up a boat. At many Chevron Marinas, you can get equipment for any water sport imaginable. Plus, after a hot day in the sun, a Chevron Marina is just the place to stop for refreshment and relaxation. So, fans, if you own a boat or spend time in one, be sure to tie up at a Chevron Marina for friendly service and top-quality Chevron Marine products, available only along the Chevron way.
The Houston Astros defensively, Bob Watson in left field, Cesar Cedeno in center, Jim Wynn in right. Doug Rader at third, Roger Metzger at short, Tommy Helms at second, Lee May at first, Jack Hyatt catching, and Don Wilson doing the pitching. Wilson involved in one of the rarities in baseball, back-to-back no-hitters in the ballpark after Gaylord Perry and Ray Washburn had done it here at Candlestick Park. Jim Maloney and Don Wilson backed him up in Cincinnati. Chris Fire to lead off for the Giants against Wilson. Don can throw hard, has a fine slider. Fire, batting .200, had 3 hits in last night's game. Takes the breaking pitch for a strike, and Fire turns and looks at Paul Fryer. At third base, Rader playing up even with the bag. Curveball popped up into center field. Cedeno's coming in. He calls for it. It will be Cesar to make the catch as Fire pops to center, batting right-handed. He has given up, at least temporarily, his idea of being a switch batter. Tito Fuentes .269 batting average, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Wilson delivers to Tito, high and outside for a ball. 20th home run was hit off Wilson. Tito batting left-handed with Mays to follow. Ball 2, too high. Jim Wynn playing deep and right. Cedeno slightly into left center. The big gap is in right center for Tito. 2-0 pitch. Swung on, pop foul out of play, and it's 2-1. Tomorrow afternoon, and then bat day on Sunday here at Candlestick. Tickets available for both of those games, as well as for next week's action. Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday against Philadelphia. Friday night, Saturday, doubleheader Sunday against Montreal. Foul to the screen. And the count is 2-2. Houston failed to score in the first inning, although getting a base hit. The Giants have 1 out and the bases empty in the bottom of the first. Infield backed up now with 2 strikes on Tito. The 2-2 pitch to him. Line drive, base hit, center field. Bobbled in center field by Cedeno, and 20 takes a big turn and then holds up. Tito is hit in every Giant game this year. He has a 7-game hitting streak. Willie Mays hitting 143, 2 doubles in his 3 hits. He's 3 for 21. Willie is a little slow getting started. He has 20s at first as Wilson takes the stretch. Mays hits one deep to center. Cedeno goes back. He goes. He leaps and he caught it over the fence in center field. He makes a long throw to first, but 20s gets back. Mays hit it to the fence, and Cedeno is shaken up as he caught the ball. Cedeno hurt himself, but he banged up against that railing. I think he hit his face against the railing. He leaped and made a one-handed catch up over the railing to rob Mays of a home run. It may have been that Cedeno hurt himself when he threw the ball. I don't know whether it's the fact that he hit the fence and hurt himself, or whether he hurt himself when he threw. Getting to his feet now. He just robbed Mays of a home run. Says he's all right. He hit his head, what he did. He's showing the trainer now that he hit his head up against the railing as he made the catch. Well, that was a fine catch by Cedeno as he leaped up over the barrier to rob Mays. Looked for a moment as though that ball was going to be just a bit too high for him, but he was able to get up there and make the catch, and Mays is retired, 20s at first. Top race drivers proved it. Cars that can use unleaded gasoline can get great performance from Chevron Unleaded, specially blended with no lead added. Available only along the Chevron way. A 2-run saver there by Cedeno. That's a tough one for the Giants to have to take, because Wilson, generally, you have to get to him early if you're going to get him at all. And that was going to be 2 runs. And Mays pulled it another foot to the left, or hit it just about a foot farther. He had himself a home run, maybe not even a foot farther. 6 inches would have probably been over Cedeno's glove. He leaped as high as he could. Bobby Bonds now takes a curve outside for a ball. John Tadiucci just called this because I said I had difficulty understanding him. He said just because I speak Indian and he can't understand it. The curve is low for a ball. 2-0. If he isn't careful, I'll go into a dance and have it rain in his bed. Bonds grounds one weakly to the left side. Metzger has it. Lobs the second. The Giants are retired as Cedeno's catch of Willie Mays' home run bid robs the Giants of 2, and it's no runs on a hit, no errors, and a runner left on at the end of 1. It's 0-0.
Now there's a big fear, brotherhood. Men who like lots of beer. Let's start with you and me. Let's get together. Let's have another hand and then the same again. Join the brotherhood of hams.
Now you can drink like a bear with the Hams Bear Pack. 12 cans of hams at a special reduced price. And every can is brewed naturally, nothing artificial added. So you can really pack it away. Get the Hams Bear Pack today.
Join the Big Bear Brotherhood. And be there's always room when all your interest waits. To be all another got a right, come on and drink it out. You spend your days wasting time of Big Beer Brotherhood. The Big Beer Drinking Brotherhood. The Big Beer Drinking Brotherhood.
Theodore Ham Company, San Francisco, and other cities. Bob Watson, Doug Rader, and Tommy Helms against John Cumberland in the second inning. Already excitement here at Candlestick Park with Cedeno making a leaping catch to Rob Mays with a 2-run homer. Bob Watson, right-hand batter, lines one to center for a base hit. Mays comes in to field that one, and Watson, who has been wearing the Giants pitching out, hitting .353, 6 for 17. Now his 7th hit, and I think all 7 of them are against the Giants. Doug Rader, who hit a 2-run homer off Cumberland and Houston, is up here now, the right-hand batting third baseman. Takes a fastball just inside, ball 1. Rader hitting .316. Rader waiting. Cumberland delivers low for a ball. Six of Watson's 7 hits are against the Giants this year. Rader pops it foul back into the seat. It's 2-1. Giants will play their traditional game with Santa Clara Monday at Buckshaw Stadium in Santa Clara. Pitch low to Rader for a ball, and it's 3-1. Ticket information available through Santa Clara. If you had tickets to the original game when it was scheduled originally, they will be good for this one. Cumberland behind 3-1 with Watson at first and nobody out in the second. Line drive to center. Mays is racing back. He turns. He makes the catch. And Rader gives a solid liner to Mays as Watson retreats to first. And now Tommy Helms. Another acquisition and trade with Cincinnati. Helms hitting .150. 2 home runs. One of them a 3-run shot off Sam McDowell. 1 on, 1 out. Cumberland's pitch to Helms. Bluffs the bunt, takes low for a ball. Kingman came racing in from first. Baldy Parker, the coach, at third. Buddy Hankin at first for Houston. Joey Amalfitano and Johnny McNamara hold down the jobs for the Giants. Fastball, ground ball to 20s. He kicks it as he was going to try to spin. Going to third is Watson, and he will be in as 20s throws across the diamond. Throws it away. Coming in to score is Watson. Going to second is Helms. And now Cumberland throws the ball away as he picked it up, and he cast the serve all the way into the dugout. And Helms will be allowed to score. Twenties kicked that ground ball. He was going to try to spin and throw to second. He kicked it. By the time he got it, Watson was headed for third. 20 threw the ball wildly past Gallagher at third. Cumberland, over there to back it up, picked the ball up off the wall, and for some reason decided to throw to the plate. He had no chance to get Watson, but he threw it about 20 feet over Healy's head, and Helms was waved in, and there are 2 runs in, and now Charlie Fox is coming out, I guess, to protest that Helms shouldn't be allowed to come in from third. There will be 2 errors on the plate, 3 errors on the plate. Fuentes gets 2. And Cumberland gets 1. And now Jack Hyatt is the batter. Pitches outside for a ball. They better get that ball and put it in a bucket of water, cool it off. 1-0 pitch is a strike to Hyatt, and it's 1-1. Hyatt got to get a hit and 2 batting appearances. Takes high for a ball. 3 errors on 1 play. Count 2-1 to Hyatt. Houston leads 2-0. Pitch is low for a ball. And it's 3-1. The Giants cannot afford to give up runs like that. Very few teams can, but with McCovey out of the lineup, you just can't give away runs like that. And there was no way that Houston was going to score on that ball, but they did. Hyatt draws the base on balls as Cumberland, obviously shaken by the turn of events, walks Hyatt. And Wilson will be the batter. All baseball fans like to be with the winner. So do beer drinkers. That's why so many join that guzzling gang, the Brotherhood of Ham. The only thing that can be said for that series of events is that nobody got hurt. The pitcher, Don Wilson, up here, pretty good hitter. He turns to bunt, puts it out in front of the plate. Hyatt will go to second, too late. Hyatt is safe at second, and Healy throw was too late to get Hyatt at second base as he slid in. Healy took a look and then decided to throw to second and had no chance to get Hyatt, who slid in safely at second base, and it will be a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. It's a good thing that the Giants aren't putting on a baseball clinic in this inning. Metzger swings and pops it up to right field. All right, Bobby, that's a fly ball. Bonds waits, makes the catch, and that's out number 2. 2 runs in the inning. The Giants have committed 3 errors and made 1 mistake in judgment. Now there are runners at first and second with 2 down and 2 runners in. Cedeno, the batter, he singled his first time, right-hand batter, and he's almost hit by that pitch. He had to jump to get out of the way. Jim Barr in the Giant bullpen. Cumberland can only be faulted in this inning for his wild throw. Nothing else. He's pitched all right. There's a drive off Cumberland's leg, and Gallagher feels it in foul territory, and Cumberland is really shaken up. That was a bullet that hit him right in the right knee. And Cumberland went down like he was shot. The ball rolled into foul territory. Gallagher got it, and the bases are loaded. And Cumberland is really hurting. That one, a bullet right back through the middle. Cedeno goes over to check with Cumberland to see if he's all right. The bases are loaded now. Cedeno, the 7th batter to bat in the inning. Cumberland trying to walk that one off. And we'll pause for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
When you want to hear the sounds of the city, listen to Restavu Syracuse Show, midnight to 6, right here on KSFO in San Francisco. It's the sound of the city.
Cumberland will try to throw a couple of pitches to see if he's all right. Boy, that was painful. The bases are loaded with 2 men out. This inning, Watson opened with a single. Rader lined out. Then Helms grounded one to 20, who kicked it for an error. Picked it up and threw wildly past third as Watson was heading for third. Watson came in to score. Helms went to second. Then Cumberland picked up the ball and threw it away, allowing Helms to come in to score. Hyatt walked. Wilson laid down a sacrifice bunt. Healy decided to try to get Hyatt at second base and threw late, so both runners were safe. Metzger flied out. Cedeno has an infield single off Cumberland's knee, and now Jim Wynn, who struck out his first time, is batting with the bases loaded. 2 men down, and Cumberland in a tough spot. He has to get Wynn out here. Pitches up high for a ball. Game could really get away from the Giants right now. Cumberland's 1-0 pitch to Wynn. Ground ball to third. Gallagher has it. He will step on third, and the inning is over. Cumberland comes back after almost being knocked out of the box, literally, to get Wynn. And it's 2 runs on 2 hits, 3 errors, and 3 runners left on. And at the end of an inning and a half, Houston leads it by a score of 2-0. We'll take a look at the scoreboard. The Mets beat the Cubs 2-0. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. To the Cubs, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Tom Seaver pitched the 4-hit shutout for his second victory. Bert Hooton, the rookie from Texas, was the loser. He is 1-1. Bud Harrelson had 3 for 4, drove in a run, and scored 1. 2 runs by the Mets ended a string of 24 scoreless innings for Hooton. Harrelson got a hit on Hooton's 3rd pitch of the game to end all thoughts of Bert backing up no-hitters. Hooton went 7 innings, gave up 6 hits, and struck out 9. Seaver struck out 9 and walked only 1 in going the distance. The Pirates beat Philadelphia 3-2. Hernandez the winner in relief, and Short the loser in relief. 3-6-0 for Pittsburgh, 2-7-0 for Philadelphia. Davalillo homered for Pittsburgh in the 10th with none on to win it for the Pirates. McCarver and Money homered for Philadelphia. Montreal beat St. Louis 2-1. 2-7-1 for Montreal, 1-9-1 for St. Louis. Stoneman the winner, he's 2-0. Wise the loser, 0-2. Cincinnati beat Atlanta 4-3. 4-8-0 for Cincinnati, 3-11-2 for Atlanta. Nolan the winner, he's 2-0. Reed the loser, 1-1. Carty and Evans homered for Atlanta. San Diego failed to score in the top of the first against the Dodgers. Greif for San Diego and Downing for the Dodgers. Baltimore beat Cleveland 6-0. McNally getting a 3-hit shutout, his second win. Wilcox the loser, and that's McNally's second consecutive shutout. Texas beat California 7-6 as Dave Kingman leads off the Giants' second and takes a strike. Boston beat New York 5-4. Wilson's next pitch to Kingman. Check swing, it's high for a ball, 1-1. Kingman leading off the Giants' second, hitting .269. Has 1 home run. He hit that in the Astrodome when he hit for the Cyclones. Curveball swung on and missed, a slow curve, and it's 1-2. Two unearned runs for Houston in the top of the second inning. 1-2 count to Kingman, the 1-2 pitch. One hopper to shortstop. Metzger has it, throws the first, and Kingman is out, number 1. Bring on Kenny Henderson. Kenny hitting .125, had 2 hits in the opening game against Wilson. Since that time has had his difficulties. Bottom of the second, 2-0. Houston leads. Out hitting the Giants 3-1. The important column, the Giants made 3 errors and all on one play. Curve in the dirt for a ball. Henderson batting left-handed against Wilson. Let up is low, ball 2. Trying to throw breaking stuff to Henderson towards the inside of these right-hand pitchers and getting away with it. Henderson had difficulty making contact with him. 2-0 pitch to it. Fastball swung on and missed, and it's 2-1. And he looked like he's swinging all right. He just isn't making contact. Outfield deep for Henderson. Curve low and inside for a ball. 3-1. So far, 2 plays have made the difference. Helms' ground ball, in which the Giants made 3 errors to allow 2 runs, and then Cedeno's catch to rob Mays of a 2-run homer. Ball 4. Henderson draws the base on ball. Wilson walks his first man, and Fran Healy will be the batter. The Giant catcher hitting .200, 4 hits and 20 trips, 1 home run, and 5 RBI. Outfield deep and around to the left for Healy. Wilson looks at Henderson at first, comes to the plate to Healy. A curve is a strike, 0-1. Jim Barr continues to throw in the bullpen for the Giants, which might mean that Cumberland might be leaving the ball game after being hit on the knee. Throw to first, and Henderson had to scramble to get back in. Fans wanting some action here from the Giants. Wilson takes the stretch. Henderson with his lead at first. The 1-strike pitch. Outside for a ball that's 1-1. Very enthusiastic crowd. Why don't you join us tomorrow or Sunday? Bat day is Sunday. All youngsters 14 and under receive a free autographed Little League bat when they enter the ballpark. Mention, too, those calendars are on sale by the San Francisco Boys Club all weekend here. The San Francisco Giants souvenir calendars have the schedule on them and radio and television schedule, whether the Giants are home or away. Beautiful calendars. They're on sale for $1.50 outside the ballpark, benefiting the San Francisco Boys Club. Henderson leads. He bluffs, doesn't go, and Healy swings and misses. 1-2. Giants trailing 2-0, bottom of the second. Wilson in front of Healy. Henderson away from first base with 1 out. Wilson looks there, comes to the plate. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Healy out on strikes, and Alan Gallagher will be the batter. Gallagher is 0 for 7 this season since moving into the Giants lineup. Henderson has remained at first. He walked with 1 out, and then Healy struck out. Wilson throws to first base, and Henderson gets back in. Stretched by the big right-hander. Henderson's lead. Pitch to Gallagher. Bounded off of Wilson's hand. Behind second, Helms throws to first. Not in time. Helms made a good play. That ball bounded off the pitcher's bare hand, Wilson. Behind second, Helms got the ball, threw off balance. Gallagher was able to leg it out at first base. Henderson safe at second. It will go as a base hit for Gallagher. And John Cumberland will be the batter. Jim Barr sits down in the Giant bullpen. Cumberland drove in 2 runs against Houston last time he faced him. Takes outside with a curve. He's batting right-handed, even though he pitches left-handed. Henderson at second. Gallagher at first. The Giants trail 2-0. We're in the bottom of the second. Wilson looks at Henderson. A big lead at second by Kenny. Fouled away by Cumberland. A 1-1 count. Runners lead from first and second. Swing and a miss at a curve, and it's 1-2. Maybe when Willie McCovey gets the cast, well, he has the cast on his arm, but when he gets out of the hospital, maybe the Giants should put him in the lineup anyway. I bet they'd walk him 2 out of 4 times, even with a cast on his arm. Look back at second, the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Cumberland out on strikes. The Giants retire. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left. At the end of 2, the score is the Houston's 2 and the Giants nothing.
Imagine a room 4,000 feet long, 625 feet wide, and 300 feet high. It's part of a house 25 miles long. The main inhabitants are bats and snow-white crickets. It's the big room at Carlsbad Caverns, New Mexico. Quite a sight. And Chevrolet is building a better way for the station wagon family to get there. Our own versions of the big room. There are Chevrolet and Chevelle wagons that seat 8 people, a Suburban that holds 9, and a sport van that'll carry 12, and even a little wagon for little families, Vega Camback. Why do we have the largest selections in wagons of anybody? Because if you're a station wagon family, Chevrolet wants your next one to be the best you ever owned, to take you to places like Carlsbad Caverns.
Chevrolet, building a better way.
Note on the message board here, Giant congratulations to the voice of Candlestick Park, Jeff Carter, and his lovely wife, Marilyn, celebrating their 8th anniversary with us tonight. Stop that. A lot of people watching here. Here's Bill Thompson.
First baseman Lee May hitting fourth in the Astros order leads off and takes low outside, ball 1. Jim Ray starts throwing. I believe it's Jim Ray throwing in the Houston bullpen in left field. Cumberland's pitch, high and outside, ball 2. May flied to center in inning number 1. Right-handed batting first baseman. Don Wilson looks like he's heading for the clubhouse. 2-0 pitch. It's a called strike. Don Wilson, Houston's starting pitcher, is walking to the clubhouse, and Jim Ray throws in the left field bullpen. So apparently Wilson has come up with an injury. Foul at the plate. Bounding ball hit by Gallagher back to the middle. Hit Wilson's bare hand. Could guess that might have caused it, or possibly an arm stiffening up. So Wilson is on his way into the clubhouse. Two and 2 count on Lee May. Coming into the plate. Low and outside, ball 3. Full count on May. 3 balls, 2 strikes. On deck, the left fielder Bob Watson, third baseman Doug Rader to follow. Ground ball, foul, past third. Giants round to the left and deep against May. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Strikeout for parts unknown in a new Chevrolet Impala. A practical one, a beautiful one. See it and you'll know what we mean. All very practical, but beautiful like we said. Because we want your new Impala to be the best car you ever owned. Report on Don Wilson, a pulled groin muscle. Wilson heads for the pitch after pitching 2 innings. Cumberland's pitch, sliced foul, the right, strike 1. Watson singled to center in the second inning. Later scored Houston's first run. 1 out, bases empty. Top inning number 3. The Astros lead it 2-0. Pop fly fouled on the right field line. It'll drop back into the seats and back of the Giant bullpen. Cumberland in front, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Ground ball to Gallagher on 1 hop. Giant third baseman goes across to Kingman with a strike, and it's out number 2. The Astros batter, third baseman Doug Rader. Line to center. inning number 2. Rader, right-handed batter. Giants play just about straight away against Raiders. Cumberland's pitch misses low outside, ball 1. A 1-0 pitch. Called strike in the inside corner. Raiders started to go after the pitch. Appeared to be looking for something out away from him. Pitch was on the inside corner. Raiders fell away. A 1-1 count. Cumberland working quickly, misses outside, ball 2. 2-1 on Raiders. 2 outs, bases empty. Dodgers scored 4 runs in the first inning, lead San Diego 4-0 after an inning and a half. 2-1 pitch. Call strike. Cumberland kicks, throws 2-2. High pop-up, right side of the infield. Fuentes drifting around on the outfield turf, waiting. He's got it, and the side is retired. Cumberland pitches a 1-2-3 inning. The Astros no runs, no hits. There were no Giant errors, nobody left on it. The end of 2.5. The Astros 2 and the Giants nothing.
Say, does your pulse beat a little faster when you pass the new car showroom? Well, you've just been bitten by the new car bug. And the man to see is your Allstate agent. That's right, your Allstate agent. You see, Allstate is now offering an auto finance plan that could save you money on the interest. And here's how it works. Just as soon as you find the car you want and the deal you want, call Allstate. Ask the agent to help arrange your financing for you. With the help of a cooperating lender, he can help you get your financing at a money-saving interest rate. Then you can take the cash to the showroom, close the deal, and drive away. Doesn't that make sense to you? Well, next time the new car bug bites you, wait. First, talk to an Allstate agent at Sears or an Allstate office. There are over 120 convenient locations in the Bay Area and throughout Northern California. Call Allstate.
Jim Ray, right-hander, comes up for Houston as Don Wilson forced to leave the contest because of a full groin muscle. Ray, the top reliever for Houston last year, has been in 2 games this year, pitched 3 in the 3rd inning. An earned run average of an even 3. Wilson went 2 innings, gave up no runs on 2 hits, struck out 2 and walked 1. Giants and Houston here again tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon, with Sunday being bat day. Philadelphia Phillies then, Tuesday night, Wednesday and Thursday afternoons. The pitching rotation, Don Carruthers for the Giants tomorrow, Juan Marichal on Sunday, and Sam McDowell to pitch that Tuesday night game against the Phils. Jim Ray has hit a 1 or loss, but has a save. That was against the Giants. Facing the top of the order, Chris Spire. Takes a breaking ball low, ball 1. Spire flied to center in inning number 1. Spire, then second baseman Tito Fuentes, and center fielder Willie Mays. Ray kicks and fires. Drive down the left field line. On the run, Watson. A ball is hooking. It's a fair ball. Bounds into the corner. Spire digging into second with a stand-up double. Spire, a drive down the left field line. Took 1 bounce up against the fence in fair territory. Spire leads off the Giants' third with a double to left. Tito Fuentes will be the batter. Fuentes single to center in inning number 1. Spire at second, nobody out. Astros in front 2-0. Raiders shortens up at third. May moves in at first. Right-hander set, comes to the plate. 20s, it's a high fly ball to center field. Spire will not be able to advance as Cedeno comes in and makes the catch. Spire has to go back to second base. It seems like Allstate Auto Insurance has discounts for just about everyone. Compact car owners, two-car owners, not a bad deal, huh? Here's Willie Mays, who was robbed of a two-run homer in the first inning on a sensational catch by Cesar Cedeno, the Astros center fielder. Cedeno leaping high above the wall. Fire away from second. The pitch to Mays. Low ball, one blocked by Hack. Keeps the ball in front of him. Rolls out towards the mound where Jack tracks it down. Fire has to hang on at second. A one ball, no strike count on Willie Mays. Jim Ray looking into Jack Hyatt for his time. Right-hander ready. Checks Fire leading from second. Curve is low, ball two. Bobby Bonds in the on-deck circle. Fire able to get a pretty good lead at second base. Mays takes low, ball three. Scoreboard and go Giants, getting a reaction from the crowd. 3-0 pitch. Fastball is strike just above the knees. Ray in on the count at 3-1. Three and one, the count on Mays. Fire away from second. Jim Ray's pitch. Low outside, ball four. Ray gives up his first walk. Jack Hyatt out to the mound to talk the pitcher. Don Wilson pitched the first two innings, forced out of the game with a pulled groin muscle. Jim Ray coming on here in inning number 3. Fire led off with a double. 20s slide to center. Mays has walked. Runners at first and second, one out. Ray looking at second. The pitch to Bobby Bonds. Check swing, but he goes through, and it's strike one. Bonds grounded into a force out in the first inning. Fire away from second. Mays from first. Ray to the plate. Curve is low. 1-1 count. Ray shakes off a sign from Hyatt. The 1-1 pitch. High fly ball down the right field line. Short. Coming in, Jim Wynn. Still coming in on the run. He's there to make the catch in fair territory. Spire tags and bluffs at second, then retreats. Bonds pops up to Jim Wynn in fair territory along the right field line for the second out. Dave Kingman will be the batter. Kingman grounded to short in the second inning. Each team with 3 hits. The Astros with 2 runs. The Giants committed 3 errors on 1 play. Inning number 2. Fire away from second. Mays from first. Jim Ray's pitch. Low, a fastball, ball one. Kingman backs away momentarily, then stands back in. Ray checks fire leading from second. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball, low, ball two. Ray behind on Kingman. 2 balls and no strikes. Ray keeps looking at the runners. Now set. 2-0 pitch. Just outside, ball 3. Kingman with a notion but laid off. 3-0 on Dave Kingman. Ray goes for the rosin bag and fires it to the ground. Fire away from second. Mays from first. 3-0 pitch. Ball strike. The outside corner. So the count was 3-0. It looked like Ray went to the slider on that pitch. Got it over on the outside corner. In on the count at 3-1. Fire and Mays lead away. 3-1 pitch. Low ball 4 and they're loaded up. Fire goes to third. Mays to second. Kingman takes over at first, and the batter with 2 outs will be Ken Henderson. Henderson walked at inning number 2. Infield straight away. The Astros. The outfield slightly around to the right and backed up. Jim Ray out of a windup. Misses outside with a fastball, ball 1. Hyatt yelling at Jim Ray as he throws the ball back to him on the mound. Fire at third. Mays at second. Kingman at first. 2 outs. A 1 ball, no strike count on Henderson. Ray to the plate. Outside, ball 2. Ball pops out of Hyatt's glove, but right at his feet. Hyatt asks for time, and we'll go out and talk with Jim Ray. Now, Doug Rader, the third baseman, comes in to join the conversation. Rader back to third, Hyatt back behind the plate. Ray up on the rubber to check signs with Hyatt. The 3 Giants lead away. The 2-0 pitch. Low, ball 3. Three and nothing count on Ken Henderson. The Houston bullpen will get busy again. 3-0 pitch. Ball strike. Three and 1 count. Ray winds. Outside, ball 4. Henderson walks to force in a run. Fire across the plate. Mays goes to third. Kingman to second. Henderson on at first with the RBI. Right-hander Tom Griffin starts throwing in the Houston bullpen. Here's catcher Fran Healy, who struck out against Don Wilson in the 2nd inning. Jim Ray cranks up. Pitch to Healy. Ground ball up the middle. Metzger scoops, slips to Helm, the side retired. Healy, after 2 batters in a row had walked, swings at the first pitch, grounds into a force out. The side retired. For the Giants in the third, 1 run on 1 hit. No Houston errors, 3 runners left on. That's for 3 full innings. Houston 2 and the Giants 1.
Peter Revson is one of America's fastest rising young race drivers. So Standard Oil sent its Chevron Low-Lead to France and asked Revson to run performance tests at the world-famous Le Mans racetrack in a car that can use low lead to see what happens to performance when you use the reduced lead gasoline.
For a performance test of gasoline, Le Mans has to be as tough as they come. I've done a number of laps now, pushing the car very hard, and Chevron Low-Lead has really been delivering. It's giving me quick acceleration out of the hairpin turns. And on the 3-mile-long Mulsanne straight, where you can really wind an engine up, Chevron's been fabulous.
Chevron Low-Lead Regular, enriched with premium gasoline components to continue to give quality performance. And for cars that can run on gasoline without lead, Chevron Unleaded, both with F310. Available only along the Chevron Way.
John Cumberland to pitch inning number 4 against the tail end of the Astros order. Second baseman Tommy Helms, catcher Jack Hyatt, pitcher Jim Ray. Dodgers scored 5 more runs in the second inning, lead San Diego 9-0 at the end of 2. Helms safe on an error in inning number 2. Takes a called strike in the outside corner, right-handed batter. It was Helms that hit the ball that caused all sorts of confusion at Candlestick Park. Cumberland's pitch, called strike. Let up. Helms hit a ground ball to Fuentes left. He booted it for 1 error. To the third, trying to get Watson. Threw wildly for a second error. Watson scoring. Cumberland's pitch, drive to left field. Henderson waiting, moves back a few steps. Makes the catch. Out number 1. We pause for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
When you want to hear the sounds of the city, listen to the Gene Nelson Show, 8 to midnight, right here on KSFO San Francisco. It's the sound of the city.
Jack Hyatt swings and misses on the first pitch for strike 1. The same play after Fuentes threw wild at third. Cumberland made a throwing error with both runners scoring. High is Cumberland, a 1-1 count. Cumberland to the plate. Let up, drive to right. Bonds moving back, waiting, makes the catch. Out number 2. With 2 outs and the bases empty, Jim Ray will be the batter. Fans, stop in at any Chevron dealer or standard station along the Chevron Way and pick up your free Giants pocket schedule. Keep track of who and where the Giants play next. Ray batting for the first time. Wilson batted once before leaving. Fouls this one into the seats to the right, strike 1. 2 outs, bases empty, top of the 4th. Astros 2, Giants 1. Cumberland delivers. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch. Giant outfield, shallow, and just about straight away. Cumberland back to the plate, 0-2. Swing and a miss. Side retired. Cumberland gets his third strikeout for Houston in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no tied errors, nobody left at the end of 3.5. The Astros 2 and the Giants 1.
Hands are made for holding. Hands are made to soothe. Hands are made for touching. Hands are made to love. For a woman's hands are needed in many ways, it's true. So Palmolive makes things just a little smoother for you. Palmolive liquid softens hands while you do dishes. Palmolive liquid gently softens your hands. 'Cause hands are made for holding. Hands are made to love. Palmolive liquid softens hands while you do dishes. Palmolive liquid gently softens your hands.
Bottom of inning number 4, third baseman Alan Gallagher hitting 8th in the order will lead it off. And pitcher John Cumberland and leadoff man and shortstop Chris Fire. Gallagher 1 for 1. Got an infield hit in the second inning. Right-handed batter against right-hander Jim Ray. First pitch, grounded to short. Metzger to his right, gets it on a big hop. His throw is in plenty of time to get Gallagher for out number 1. Ray walked 3 men in the third inning. The third one forced a run across the plate. Now the last 2 Giants swung at the first pitch. Here's Cumberland, who struck out in the second inning against Wilson. Curve is a strike. The 0-1 pitch to Cumberland. Curve is called strike 2. Cumberland batting right-handed against the Astros right-hander Jim Ray. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Curveball. Ray gets his first strikeout. With 2 outs and the bases empty, the Giants batter will be Chris Fire. Slide to center in the first inning, doubled to left in the third, and later scored the Giants' run. Houston in front 2-1 as we're in the bottom of the 4th. Fire making sure Cumberland has time to get back in the dugout and sit down. Now in the batter's box, and Ray to the plate. Breaking ball outside. A 1-ball, no strike count. Ray with a sign from Hyatt. Right-hander kicks and throws. Fastball popped up. Right side of the infield. Second baseman Tommy Helms at the edge of the outfield turf. Makes the catch and the side retires. Giants go very quietly in the 4th. No runs, no hits. No Astros errors, and no runners left on it. The end of 4 full. Houston 2 and the Giants 1.
This is Bank of America Spotlight on Sports, and we're outside the stadium talking to Willard Hodell, a sportsman. Willard?
Hiya, Bill.
Willard, you got your new camper loan from Bank of America, is that right?
Uh-huh, that's correct, Bill. First thing we did was drive to Lake Havasu, where upon the way my rubber raft fell off.
Oh, well, we understand you chose Bank of America for your camper loan because of the minimum of red tape.
Mm-hmm, that is correct. My rubber raft fell off somewhere near Barstow, Bill.
You say the loan rate was very favorable and simple to arrange?
Bill, I'd say so. Now, if anyone finds my rubber raft, I'd appreciate getting it back. It's red with boo-boo written on it.
Well, then you'd recommend Bank of America for any kind of recreational vehicle loan.
You're correct, but now, Bill, be sure you tie anything loose down on your camper. I could have used that advice myself.
Thanks, Will. Bank of America recreational vehicle loans. The minimum of red tape and paperwork. Ask at any branch.
Inning number 5 and Lon Simmons.
Top of the order for the Astros against Cumberland. Roger Metzger takes high for a ball 1-0. Metzger's popped up and flied out. Batting right-handed against the left-hander Cumberland. Gallagher plays up close to third. The outfield very shallow. The big gap for Metzger, left center field. Ball 2, too high. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Houston. 1 run, 3 hits, and 3 errors for the Giants. 3 errors on 1 play that gave Houston its 2 runs. Cumberland goes to the Rosenbag now, behind on the count to Metzger, 2-0. Ball 3. Cumberland swings, but his control, all of a sudden he'll go along. He won't be even coming close to walking anybody, and he'll walk somebody on 4 pitches. He's behind Metzger now, 3-0, and it's not a very good idea to get this leadoff man on. Strike call, 3-1. Start bringing the power up behind him. Cumberland works rapidly. 3-1 pitch. Strike two called. Full count. 3-2. Tomorrow afternoon, the Giants in Houston. John Carruthers scheduled for the Giants. Ball four, he walked in. Cumberland with the walk that gives the Astros their leadoff man on. John Carruthers going against Dave Roberts tomorrow. Then Sunday, bat day, Juan Marcel against Larry Durker. Cesar Cedeno has 2 hits, single to center and singled off Cumberland's knee. Takes high for a ball, 1-0. Jim Barr throws in the Giant bullpen again. The Dodgers are making noises as if they plan to make it a very tough year on anyone to catch them this season. They're leading San Diego 9-0 after 2 innings. Foul ball off the right. They had the hit and run on. Look out. That ball hit off the end of the bat. A broken bat for Cedeno. It's a ball on a strike. Sam McDowell should make his first candlestick start Tuesday night here against Philadelphia. Fans who haven't seen Sam pitch are in for a treat. And we'll come out and watch him work against the Phils next Tuesday. Of course, before that, you've got a Saturday and Sunday out here at Candlestick. Pitch to Cedeno. Curveball, line drive, base hit, center field. Mays fields and throws in. Cedeno has his 3rd hit, and Cumberland is in difficulty now as the right-hand power is up here. Jim Wynn has struck out and forced a runner. Cumberland with a walk and a single has 2 runners on there with nobody out. Cumberland and Gallagher talk. And the right-hand batting Wynn. The base Cumberland. First and second occupied, nobody down. Cumberland working from a stretch, looks at second, comes to Wynn. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Wynn looks at third base coach Salty Parker. Giants don't expect Wynn to be sacrificing in this spot. One is trying to keep Cedeno close at second base. Wynn runs up as if to bunt and takes high for ball 2. It's 2-0. Cumberland getting behind on this right-hand batter, and he's having a struggle this inning. 2 runs on 4 hits now for Houston, 1 run on 3 hits for the Giants. But Cumberland is in trouble in this 5th inning. Popped up. It's a tough chance. What is a long run, and Kingman, and it drops in. Bonds throws to the plate. The bases will be loaded. As that was a high pop fly, the runners had to wait. It dropped in and fouled in fair territory, just about 2 feet inside the right field line. A high pop up 20s, and Kingman and Bonds all running for it, and they couldn't get to it. And the bases are loaded. Charlie Fox coming out. Matt Mayfield for Cumberland. Cumberland slammed the rosin bag down. He is really upset. Wynn hit that high pop fly right down the right field line. Bonds had been pulled over toward right center. One is had moved over close to second base to try to keep the runner close. And nobody could get to that one. Down the right field line, Fox has called for Jim Barr. Cumberland will leave, leaving a bases-loaded situation, and Barr will be the Giant pitcher. He has got his work cut out for him with May, Watson, and Raiders, the batters, and the bases loaded. Cumberland goes 4+ innings. Been charged with 2 runs, has given up 5 hits, walked 2, struck out 3. Jim Barr comes to the plate. National League has asked us to make an announcement. The Braille baseball schedules are available free for blind fans from the Library of Congress. Books on baseball are also available on talking book records or in Braille for those who cannot read regular print because of a visual or physical handicap. Persons interested in receiving a free Braille baseball schedule or information about the services available should write to the Library of Congress, Division for the Blind and Physically Handicapped, Washington, D.C., 20542. That's Library of Congress, Division for the Blind and Physically Handicapped, Washington, D.C., 20542. Right-hander Jim Barr makes his third appearance of the year. He's worked 2 1/3 innings, given up 1 run. It was a home run to Nate Colbert last night. He comes in a situation tough for a pitcher. Bases loaded and nobody out. And the power at the plate. This one has a chance of getting away from the Giants right here, unless Barr can nail it down. Ron Bryant throws in the Giant bullpen now. Houston leads 2-1. Tomorrow afternoon, the Giants with Carruthers against Dave Roberts of Houston, and then Sunday on Bat Day, it will be Juan Marichal against Larry Durcher. Youngsters 14 and under, both boys and girls. Receive free autographed Little League bats when they enter the park on Sunday. Ready to go. Barr to pitch to the right-hand batting Lee May. The bases loaded. A pitch to May, a curve outside for a ball, 1-0. Outfield deep, of course, and the infield backed up. One-0 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Metzger at third, Cedeno at second, and Wynn at first. And here's another thing. Now, Barr gets himself behind on this slugger, and he knows that Barr's going to have to try to come in there with something pretty good. Giants hopeful of getting a double play ground ball in this spot. Barr works 2-0. Strike called at the knees, and that one just barely got the strike zone. A good pitch. Two on 1 count to Lee May. Bases jammed by Houston. Just outside, close pitch. It's 3-1. Ray forced in a runner with a walk for the Giants' only run in the 3rd inning, and now Barr is in jeopardy with a 3-1 count to Lee May. His 3-1 pitch. Grounded to Barr. He comes to the plate for 1. The throw to first is in time for the double play. A 1-hopper back to Jim Barr. His throw to Healy, and Healy made a good play because May was right in his line of vision, but he threw a strike to Kingman. It's a double play. Runners at second and third. As Cedeno went to third, Wynn to second. And Bob Watson will be the batter. If you're planning a party, Bank AmeriCard can help you make an ordinary event into a special occasion. Bank AmeriCard is as good as cash, and you can spread the payment. Now, the guy who's been wearing out Giant pitching, Bob Watson, he's 1 for 2. Metzger cut down at the plate. They're going to walk Watson. And Barr almost threw that one away. They will walk Watson to load up the bases. Barr appears to be having trouble throwing the intentional walk. Some pitchers do have difficulties lobbing the ball up there. Joe Sparma was one. He couldn't even hit the catcher. In fact, he was lucky to hit the backstop. Watson gets the base on balls to load him up. Watson at first, Wynn at second, Daniel at third, and Doug Rader, who's lined out and popped up. Rader, one of the real toughs, out with men on there. So Barr is going to have to really bear down on him. Right-hand batting third baseman. Barr winds the pitch. Is a breaking pitch low for a ball, 1-0. Barr got behind 3-1 on May and finally got him to hit into the double play. Now he's behind 1-0 on Rader. Bases loaded, 2 down. Young right-hander looking in for the sign, has it from Healy. Strike the fastball good on the outside. It's 1-1. Rader hit a triple off Barr in Houston. Jim kept going away from him, and Rader finally went with the pitch and drilled it into right field for 3 bases. Barr into the windup with a 1-1 pitch. Drive to right field, hit deep. Bonds going back. He's still going, and it's off the fence. And 3 runs will score, and Rader will go to third with another triple. Rader triples to unload him again. And Houston has a 5-1 lead. Rader hit that ball right to the base of the fence in right field. As Bonds ran over there, but the ball was over his head and hit at the base of the fence. Now Tommy Helms fouled it away, strike 1. Pitch is outside for a ball, 1-1. The Giants with the intentional walk to load up the bases, and then Rader triples. The second time he's done that out Barr this year. 1-1 pitch inside for ball 2. Barr keeps pitching away from Rader, and Rader goes with the pitch. And then another thing, the Giants didn't play him in that direction. Bonds was pulled over towards right center. Pitch is low for a ball. 3-1. Three-1 count to Tommy Helms. Bounded to Gallagher on one hop. His throw in time, and the side is retired. But the triple by Rader with the bases loaded, and in the fifth, 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors, and a runner left on. We go to the bottom of inning number 5. Houston 5, the Giants 1.
You know, a whole lot of people who never buy a station wagon are buying the Vega Camback and loving it.
Giants with a lot of coming from behind to do now, trailing 5-1. Barr appeared to be, well, didn't appear to be out of the inning, but he got a big man when he turned Lee Mays' bounding ball into a double play. And Rader laced that line drive to the base of the fence and right for a 3-run triple. Tito Fuentes leads off for the Giants in the bottom of the 5th against Jim Ray. 1-run line drive to center. Daniel is there, and that's out number 1. Willie Mays has flied out and walked. And the flyout wasn't a routine. Daniel leaped over the fence to rob him a 2-run home run. Tonight's game being brought to you by Chevrolet's 1972 cars. Ham's Beer, Colgate's Dollar Savers. Mays against Ray. Bluffs the bunt, takes a curve for a ball. Willie walked in his first appearance against Ray tonight. His near home run came off the starter, Don Wilson. Bounding ball is short. Easy chance for Metzger. And there are 2 men down. After walking Henderson to force in a run, Ray has now retired 6 consecutive batters. Bobby Bonds 0 for 2. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Houston leads 5-1. Bonds takes the curve for a strike. One strike pitch. Low and away for a ball. It's 1-1. One delivery. Bonds fouls it off the 5th. Ray moving that ball around. He jammed Mays and he jammed Bonds right there. Had 2 strikes on Bobby. Now 1-2 to Bonds with 2 down. My base is empty. The Giants trail it 5-1. Curve outside. 2-2. Ray has the sign and the target from Hyatt. 2-2 pitch. High, ball 3. Ray now adjusts to the sign. Right-hander delivers 3-2. Line drive by his ear to center field. Bonds singles to center. Dave Kingman will be the batter. He is grounded out and walked. 2 down. Bonds at first. That is hit number 4 for San Francisco. Houston has 6. The big thing, Houston has 5 runs. The Giants have only 1. Jim Ray stretches the pitch to Kingman. He lays off and takes low for a ball. 1-0. Outfield deep and around to the left. Giants need a sudden explosion here now to get back in this contest, trailing by 4. Pounding ball to third, foul. Rader was going to have a little trouble with that. He looked as though he were going to try to go to second base with the ball, and he'd never gotten Bonds, I don't believe. But the ball was foul. The ball and a strike. Give Kingman the right center field area. Daniel well over in left center. Watson near the left field line. Wins slightly towards right center. Fouled away, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to the Giant first baseman, Dave Kingman. At first base, Bonds with 2 men down. Bottom of inning number 5. 5-1 Houston lead. Stretch for the pitch. High for ball 2. Kenny Henderson on deck if Kingman can keep things going in this 5th inning. Dave crouches at the plate. Bonds leads. 2-2 pitch. Cracked to the left side. Rader has it going to his left. Throws to second. In time to get Bonds. Good play by Doug Rader as he got the hold to get that ball and then threw to second in time to force Bobby Bonds. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a runner left on. And at the end of 5, it's Houston 5, the Giants 1. Inning number 6, number 8 hitter in the lineup, Jack Hyatt, will be the first man to face Jim Barr, and then will be Jim Ray. And the top of the order. Houston 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The Giants 1 run on 4 hits and 3 errors. More afternoon, these same clubs, and then Sunday is bat day. Ron Bryant throws in the Giant bullpen. Jack Hyatt has walked and flied out. Fouls it off the 5th out of play, strike 1. Nothing in one count. Barr's 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses, and it's 1-1. Ball on a strike, the count to Hyatt. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to short. Spire has it. His throw in time for out number one. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
When you want to hear the sounds of the city, listen to Carter Blakemore Smith, 1 to 4, right here on KSFO in San Francisco. It's the sound of the city.
Pitcher Jim Ray swings and misses strike one. He struck out his first time. Ray took over in the third inning. Don Wilson had to retire, a pulled groin muscle, sending him to the pit. Curve, strike two. Bar in front of Ray, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. A bit outside, 1-2. Boston beat the Yankees 5-4. Baltimore beat Cleveland 6-0. Texas beat California 7-6. Curve low, ball two. Montreal beat St. Louis 2-1. The Mets beat the Cubs 2-0. Pittsburgh beat Philadelphia 3-2. Cincinnati beat Atlanta 4-3. The Dodgers lead San Diego 9-0 after 4. Fastball, strike three called. Barr gets his first strikeout with 2 men down. Right? Oh, it's 10-0 down there after 5. 10-0 after 4 innings. All right. The Dodgers 10 and San Diego nothing after 4 innings. Roger Metzger bats left-handed against Barr and takes a fastball strike. Fouled away. And 2 to shortstop Roger Metzger. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball is away from him for 1-2. Jim Barr deals off the 1-2 delivery. Just outside, 2-2. Seems little doubt that Barr is going to be an excellent pitcher. He is going to have to learn a bit about pitching. Line drive down the left field line, out of play. 2-2. That's good stuff. Big thing is to learn where and when to throw certain pitches to these hitters. 2-2 count. Low for a full count of 3-2. We're in inning number 6, 5-1. Houston leads. 3-2 pitch. Pop foul, out of play. Count remains 3-2 as Barr whistles in the next one. A line drive to left field, right at Henderson. And the side is retired. In the 6th, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. We go to the bottom of inning number 6, and the score, Houston 5 runs on 6 hits, no errors. The Giants 1 run on 4 hits and 3 errors. Bottom of the 6th, the Giants down by 4. Kenny Henderson to try to start things off. Kenny has walked twice, one of the walks forcing in the lone Giant run. That came against Jim Ray in the 3rd. Henderson hits a high fly ball down the right field line. Long run for May, the first baseman. He can't get it. It's back into the seat. May from first base, Helm from second, and Wynn from right field. May had the best chance, but the ball was back into the first row of seats. And Henderson stays alive with a 1 strike count. Henderson, Healy, and Gallagher. to Henderson is low for a ball, 1-1. Ball on a strike to Henderson, 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 1-2. Ray in front of Henderson, a ball and 2 strikes. Kenny batting left-handed. Popped up to the left side, playable for Rader or Metzger. It's Metzger calling on the outfield turf. He makes the catch for out number 1. One down, and Fran Healy will be the batter. Healy has struck out and forced the runner. Right-hander against right-hander. Outfield deep against Healy. Fastball brushes him back, ball 1. Giants being out hit 6-4, being outscored 5-1. 3 errors on 1 play gave Houston 2 runs. Raiders triple drove in the other 3. It's in the dirt for a ball, and it's 2-0. Ray wants another baseball from Paul Pryor, and Pryor gives him one and throws that one out of the contest. Hero pitch. Ball 3 inside. 3-0. The Giants, their first game in renovated Candlestick Park. It's beautiful out here. Hope you'll come out and join us over this weekend. Strike call. 3-1 to Healy. Giants batting in the 6th, down by 4. Healy backs out of the batter's box now to take a practice swing. 1 down, nobody on. 3-1 pitch. Strike 2 call. Full count, 3-2 to Healy. Ray delivers. Bounding ball to Rader. Short hopped it. Throws, cuts him down. 2 men are down. Giants having trouble getting base runners against Ray after they gave him a break in the 3rd inning. He walked 2 men in succession. Henderson, the second one, to force in a run. Then Healy came up and hit the first pitch into a 4th out, and the Giants were out of the inning. Gallagher, 1 for 2, takes a fastball strike. Gallagher now talking to Paul Pryor about something. Asking Paul if he's seen how Santa Clara Letterman's Twitter. Curve is low for a ball. 1-1. Giants will play Santa Clara next Monday at Buck Shaw Stadium. Bounding ball back to Jim Ray. Leach makes the catch, throws the first, and the Giants are 1-2-3 here in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. At the end of 6, it's Houston 5 and the Giants 1. Inning number 7, 5-1. Houston leads, and to tell you about the action, here's Bill Thompson.
Against Jim Barr, the Astros at the 2, 3, and 4 spots in the order. Center fielder Cesar Cedeno, right fielder Jim Wynn, and first baseman Lee May. Cedeno singled to center in the 1st, drilled a single off Cumberland's knee in the 2nd, and singled to center in the 5th and scored a run. Right-handed batter. Right-hander Jim Barr to the plate. Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 1. Barr to the plate. Fastball is inside at the letters, ball 2. Barr behind on Cedeno. 2 balls, no strikes. Two or nothing count. on its way. Founded to the right side. Kingman. Short hops it right by the bag, or got it just before it hit the ground. Steps on first to retire Cedeno. The Giants get him out for the first time. Cedeno hit a sharper. Kingman managed to grab it just before it hit the ground on the big hop. Tonight's game is being brought to you by Standard Stations and independent Chevron dealers, Bank of America, and Allstate Insurance Company. Jim Wynn struck out, forced the runner, got a bloop single on the right field line in the fifth. Takes inside, ball one. High pop fly dropped in down along the right field line. The base hit. Takes low and outside, ball two. Two nothing count on Wynn. Bar to the plate. Swing and a miss. A foul tip into Healy's glove. Bar in on the count at 2-1. One out, base is empty. Top of the seventh. The Astros lead the Giants 5-1. Bar is 2-1-6. Grounded to third. Gallagher charging. Can't come up with it on a short hop. Wynn will be on. Gallagher failing to come up with a short hop. We'll wait for the official scorer's ruling. Gallagher charged with an error. Giants' fourth error of the ballgame. They made three on one play in the second inning. It cost 2 runs. Now Lee May flied to center in the first, struck out in the third, hit into a double play in the fifth. Right in a batting first baseman. Wynn at first, a threat to run. Barr with a good move. Barr throwing to first, Wynn getting back in. That's not Barr's real good move. Wynn with his lead. Barr looking over his shoulder. Turns and goes over there again, and Wynn is back in. Again, Barr not making a real quick move to first base. Wynn again with that goodly quick throw over there. They get him. Barr decoyed Wynn twice with just average moves to first base, and Wynn took a little bigger lead, and Barr with his good move to first picked him off. Out number 2. Barr can now go back to pitching from a windup. Pitch to May. Low, dug out of the dirt by Healy, ball one. The 1-0 pitch to May. Swung on, foul tipped into Healy's glove. A 1-1 count. A 1-1 pitch. High pop-up in foul territory. Healy didn't see it, but it's going to be out of play, I believe, anyway. On top of the Giant dugout. Healy never saw the ball. Kingman came running over from first base. Any embarrassment that might have been can be forgotten. That one hit on top of the dugout and bounced back on into the seat. Barr in front of Lee May. A ball and 2 strikes. A 1-2 pitch. Drive to deep left field, and that one's way out of here. That one goes almost back into the permanent seat. As Lee May crashes the home run. The Astros lead it 6-1. May, who hit 39 home runs last year for Cincinnati, gets his first one as a member of the Astros. He hit that one a ton. Now 6-1 Houston lead. Bob Watson, single to center in the second, grounded to third in the third, to an intentional walk in the fifth. Breaking pitch outside, ball one. Fastball is inside, ball two. Barr into the motion, the 2-0 pitch. Fouled off the fifth, back into the seat. Barr gets in on the count at 2-1. Two-one delivery. Ball strike two. A fastball just above the knees. 2-2 pitch on its way. Swung on and missed. Strike three and a side retired. Barr's second strikeout before Houston in the seventh. 1 run on 1 hit. May's home run. 1 giant error. No runners left on. We go to the bottom of the seventh, and the Astros lead it 6-1.
You know, having a home of your own adds a little more extra pleasure to living. That home is worth protecting as best you can.
Bottom of the seventh, the Giants down by 5, and Jimmy Howarth will be a pinch batter for Jim Barr. And the top order, shortstop Chris Spire and second baseman Tito Fuentes. We're giving the pitching rotation for the remainder of this series. We've been saying Don Carruthers tomorrow, which is correct, and Juan Marichal Sunday. We have now been corrected. It will not be Marichal on Sunday. It will be Steve Stone. So Marichal then will pitch the Tuesday night ball game against Philadelphia. Sam McDowell do on Wednesday afternoon. So Marichal and McDowell being set back, actually. It's a couple of days in the turn to give them a little additional rest. Left-handed batting Jim Howard. So Carruthers tomorrow, Merritt and Steve Stone on Sunday on bat day. Jimmy Howard, left-handed batter, stands in. Howard has 1 hit and 4 tries. Jim ready to plate. Fastball is a strike. Rays 0-1 pitch. Outside and high. A 1-1 count. Straightaway defense by the Astros. Raiders shortened up at third. The fastball is high, ball 2. Ray drops behind on Howard. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ray comes back to the plate 2-1. Misses low, ball 3. Three-one pitch to Jim Howard. Low, ball 4. Fourth walk off Jim Ray, and pitching coach Jim Owens comes out of the dugout for the Houston Astros. Owens walking slowly out towards the mound. There will be activity. It's like George Culver starting to throw in the bullpen. It is Culver, a right-hander, will start loosening along the left field line. Owens just now getting out to the mound. Ron Bryant throwing in a giant bullpen. He will be the pitcher in the top of the 8th. Owens turns and heads back towards the dugout. Howard draws the walk. Will open up inning number 7 as the Giants trail by 5, and Chris Spire will be the batter. Slide to center in the first, doubled the left in the third, and scored the Giants run, and popped the second and the fourth. Right-handed batter. May plays off the bag at first. With Ray set, Howard with his lead. Spire bluffs the bunt, takes inside at the belt, ball 1. Spire has the jump out of there. Howard leads. Slider's a strike. A 1-1 count on Spire. Tito Fuentes out the on-deck circle. Howard with the lead. A 1-1 pitch. Spire bounds it to short for a double play, and Metzger boots it. A double play ball to the shortstop, Roger Metzger. Metzger, as he went to throw the ball, booted it. Everybody is safe. Howard is at second. Fire at first, and Tito Fuentes the batter. Fuentes single to center in the first, fly to center in the third, line to center in the fifth. Howard and Spire lead from second and first. Fuentes takes low, ball one. Willie Mays in the on-deck circle. Ray set. The two runners lead. Pitch to Tito. Inside at the knees, ball two. 2-0 count. Now Hyatt calls time and will walk out the mound as third baseman Doug Razor comes over. Now Hyatt comes back behind the plate. Rader goes back to third. Fuentes back in the batter's box. Rader shortened up at third base, a step in front of the bag. Jim Ray's 2-0 pitch to Fuentes. Fastball is a called strike on the outside corner. Ray on the rubber, then off, now back on, and Fuentes asked for time and stepped out. Tito right back in. Howard away from second, Spire from first. 2-1 pitch to Fuentes. Low, ball three. Tito had a notion, but laid off in time. Three and one count on Tito Fuentes. Runners at first and second, nobody out, bottom of the seventh, and Houston leading 6-1. All four, they're loaded up. Stiff walk off Jim Ray. Howard goes to third, Spire to second. Fuentes takes over at first, and Willie Mays will be the Giants batter. Mays just missed a two-run homer in the first inning when Cedeno made a leaping catch above the center field fence. He walked in the third, grounded to short in the fifth. Now here comes manager Harry Walker. That will be all for Jim Ray. Walker walking very slowly out to the mound. Walker, three guys could warm up by the time it takes him to get to the mound. Saul goes to the bullpen for George Stover, so Jim Ray took over to start the third inning. Don Wilson started for Houston. He had to leave after 2 innings because of a pulled groin muscle. Ray came on in the third, gave up a run to the Giants. In the third, when he gave up a double and 3 walks, and he pitched a 1-2-3-4, gave up a 2-out single in the fifth, pitched a 1-2-3-6. Now will depart here in the seventh. George Stover will be called on to come on against the Giants. Stover was making his third appearance of the year. He's pitched 4 innings. Stover has 1 save. In the 4 innings pitch, he's given up 1 earned run. Stover, a right-hander. Jim Ray walking slowly off the field, followed by Harry Walker, and Stover will begin to take his warm-up. Stover coming into the same situation that Jim Barr came into. Culver loosening up. Mentioned that Culver came in a similar situation faced by Jim Barr. The Giants Barr came in. The bases loaded, nobody out. Got Lee made a ground into a double play. Walked Watson and Tenson. Then Raiders spoiled the whole thing by tripling to right field to drive in 3 runs. That in the 5th inning. The Astros got their 6th run in the top of the 7th on a home run by May. The Astros in front by 5. Giants with Howard at 3rd. Fire at 2nd. Fuentes at 1st. Nobody out. And Willie Mays to bat against right-hander George Culver. John McMahon loosening in the Giant bullpen. Culver apparently will work from a stretch. Exactly know why, but he will. Culver to the plate. Mays fouls it back into the seat. A strike 1 count. Culver looking into Hyatt for a sign. Howard, Fire, and Fuentes all ready to go. Culver can't get together with Hyatt on a sign and backs off the rubber. Oh, and 1 to count on Mays. And Mays figures that they're taking too much time, and he backs away. Fred Gladding throwing in the Houston bullpen. Culver sets. The 3 runners lead. The 0-1 pitch to Mays. Curve is low inside. Culver, basically a breaking ball pitcher. Howard, Fire, and Fuentes lead. The 1-1 pitch to Mays. Takes low inside as Willie checks. Now a 2-1 count. Culver behind on the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bobby Bonds in the on-deck circle for the Giants. 2-1 pitch to Mays. Low ball 3. Culver walks around behind the rubber. Culver, the right-hander, ready. Mays waits on a 3-1 pitch. On its way. Ball strike 2 as Mays taking all the way. Bluff just a bunt. Culver got the strike zone just above the knees. Full count on Mays. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Howard at 3rd. Fire at 2nd. Fuentes at 1st. Culver to the set position. 3-2 pitch to Mays. High inside, down he goes. Mays walks the fourth in a run. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
When you want to hear the sounds of the city, listen to the Terry McGovern Show, 4 to 8, right here on KSFO in San Francisco. It's the sound of the city.
Now Bobby Bonds with a run in. The Giants trail 6-2. Both of their runs have been forced in by bases loaded walks. One by Jim Ray, now by Culver in relief of Ray. Bonds has 1 hit. Culver steps off. Bonds forced the runner in the 1st, fly to right in the 3rd, single to center in the 5th. Fire away from 3rd. Fuentes from 2nd, Mays from 1st. Culver ready. Comes to the plate. Curve hits the bat, rolls out in front of the mound. Up with it, Culver, and throws to Hyatt. A breaking pitch inside. Bonds falling away from it. It hit the bat and rolled back towards the mound. Culver raced in, scooped it up, flipped it to Hyatt for a force out. Fire is out at the plate. 1-2. Culver to Hyatt. Fuentes goes to third. Mays to second. Bonds takes over at first. Bases still loaded with one out, and Dave Kingman will be the batter. Kingman grounded to short in the second, walked in the third, forced the runner in the fifth. Culver still working from the stretch. Right-hander to the plate. Line drive deep to left, hooking, foul. Kingman got a lot of that one, but hooked it foul. A one-strike count. Culver to the plate. Curve is called strike two, and Kingman doesn't think so. Kingman putting up an argument on the call. Now it's behind on the count 0-2. Culver ready. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled off the fist over the top of the Giant dugout. Back into the third or fourth row seat. Culver taking his time, as well he might. Astros in front 6-2. The Giants with the bases loaded and one out and a run in. Culver ready. The 0-2 pitch to Kingman. Fastball inside at the belt. A ball and two strikes. Culver ready. The three runners lead. 1-2 pitch. Curve, foul back. Culver got the breaking ball up. But Kingman fouled it straight back into the seat. They give Kingman a tremendous gap in right center field. So Daniel pulled well over into left center. Watson deep in left towards the line. Wynn nearly straight away in right field. So it's a tremendous gap in right center. Again, Culver and Kingman ready for the 1-2 pitch. On its way. High inside, a fastball, brushing Kingman back. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Culver ready. 3 runners lead. Foul on the ground, off to the left of the plate. Count holds at 2-2. Culver. The set position. The 3 runners lead. 2-2 pitch to Kingman. Checks his swing and takes high. Kingman just checking in time. Tonight's paid attendance, 16,898. 16898. Full count, 3-2 on Kingman. Bases loaded, 1 out. Giants trailing 6-2 in the bottom of the 7th. The runners lead. Culver set. 3-2 pitch to Kingman. Fouled away off Hyatt's mask. Kenny Henderson in the on-deck circle for the Giants. Now Hyatt calls time and runs out to the mound. Don McMahon and John Morris throwing in the Giant bullpen. Ron Bryant had warmed up. Bryant might have come on into the dugout. Fred Gladding throwing in the Houston bullpen. Culver ready. Again a 3-2 pitch. Ground ball to third base. Rader goes to second for one. Helms throw to first is not in time. Mays trying to score. He's out at the plate. 1 run scored. Mays tried to score from second, and he was out. So goes as a double play from Rader to Helms to May to Hyatt, the catcher, with the second out being made on Mays at the plate. The Giants come up with 2 runs in the inning on no hits, 1 Houston error, and 2 runners left on. At the end of 7 full, Houston 6 and the Giants 3. Correction on the totals in the bottom of the 7th. Correct totals: 2 runs, no hits, 1 Houston error, and 1 runner left on. Ron Bryant on to do the pitching for the Giants in the 8th, and for the play-by-play, Lon Simmons.
Bryant will face Doug Rader, whose triple drove in the 3 big runs back in the 5th inning. Jim Barr went 3 innings, gave up 2 runs. Rader takes a fastball from Bryant for a strike. Bryant, the 3rd Giant pitcher. We're in the 8th, 6-3, Houston leads. 1 strike pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Bryant in front of Rader. Giants getting 2 runs in that 7th inning. Mays trying to steal another as he tried to score from second on the attempted double play by the Astros. Pitches up high for a ball. 1-2. And Bryant's 1-2 pitch to Rader. Strike 3 called, a fastball on the inside. Bryant strikes out the first man he faces. Now Tommy Helms. Safe on an error. The ball that he hit looked like he'd hit it into a pinball machine. Pitches up high for a ball. 1-0. He flied out and grounded out. And the ball that Helms hit had wound up as 3 errors on the play and 2 runs scored. Fastball strike. 1-1. John Morris throws in the bullpen for the Giants. We're in the top of the 8th, 6-3. Houston in front. Helms dribbles it down the third base side. It'll be a foul ball, and it's 1-2. Tomorrow, the Giants and Houston return here to Candlestick Park. Sunday is bat day. All youngsters 14 and under, boys and girls, receive free autographed Little League bats when they enter the ballpark. Count a ball and 2 strikes to Tommy Helms. Drive to left center field. Henderson running on the move, still going. He's there and makes the catch. The only question about that was if Henderson could catch up with it. It was not deep enough to be in home run territory, but it was going to be extra bases unless Henderson could get there. Mays limping a bit in center field. Hyatt really blocked the plate on him as he tried to score, and Mays driving into him, banged up his leg a bit. Jack Hyatt is up here now, takes a slow curve for a strike. 2 down, bases empty. After 7 innings, the Dodgers 10 and San Diego nothing. One strike pitch. Fastball inside for a ball. Maybe Hadel will throw 2 touchdown passes late in that one. Hyatt drills one to deep center. Mays going back, still going, and that is off the fence. Hyatt will have himself a stand-up double. Hyatt ripped that one off the center field fence. It looked as though it might be going out of here, but it didn't quite get up. He has 2 bases, and George Culver, the pitcher, will be the batter. Right-hand batter is Culver against Bryant. 2 down. Hyatt at second base. And Healy goes out to talk to Bryant. That hit, number 8 for Houston. San Diego's making a comeback. They've scored a run in the 8th inning. Dodgers lead 10-1. Bryant sits. Culver lays off a high fastball for a ball, 1-0. Pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Ball and a strike to Culver. Bryant looks back at Hyatt, the 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. Giants in the bottom half of this 8th inning. They'll have Henderson, Healy, and Gallagher to face George Culver. Giants trailing by 3. Bryant ready to pitch, 1-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Bryant gets his second strikeout. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a runner left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the score, Houston 6, the Giants 3. Giants, trailing by 3, will face George Culver with Kenny Henderson, Fran Healy, and Al Gallagher. Had a big opportunity in the 7th inning as a 3 walks and an error. Got him a run. And then a 4th out got him another. Mays tried to score from second on the 4th out and was cut down at the plate. The Giants got 2 runs without a hit. They have 4 hits tonight. Giants have made 4 errors. Now Kenny Henderson to lead off. He's walked twice and he's popped it. Pitch to Henderson is high for a ball, 1-0. A strike called, a fastball good. They're doing some uppercutting out in the bleachers. Strike, 1-2. They ought to have on the new scoreboard is a big boxing glove that comes out and pow, anytime they start a fight out there. 1-2 count to Henderson. Culver's 1-2 pitch. Low for 2-2. Two and 2 count to Henderson. Leading off the Giant 8. Culver's pitch. Low for ball 3. Full count of 3-2. Right-hander offers 3-2. Henderson fouls it off the fifth to the screen, and it stays full. 6 runs, 8 hits, and error for Houston. 3 runs, 4 hits, and 4 errors for the Giants. Fred Gladding loosens in the Houston bullpen. 3-2 count to Henderson. Ball 4, he walked him. Well, the Houston pitchers have been generous with their walks. That is 8 of them now. Brian Haley, who has struck out, forced a runner, and grounded out. Over at first, Henderson. Right-hander against right-hander as Culver takes the stretch with a pitch to Haley. Low for a ball, 1-0. And Hyatt goes walking out to say something to Culver. Culver wants another baseball. He wanted Fryer to look at it. Fryer says it's all right and throws it back to him. Henderson on at first, nobody down. Giants batting in the bottom of the 8th, trailing 6-3. George Culver is the third Houston pitcher. Stretched by Culver. Strike the fastball good. 1-1. Giants have not been without their opportunities. Henderson moves away from first. 1-1 pitch. Bounded slowly to shortstop. Rader in front of Metzger. Throws to first and gets Healy. A good play by third baseman Doug Rader. Healy is thrown out as Henderson moves up to second. And Alan Gallagher will be the batter now. Al has an infield hit in 3 tries. Hyatt goes out to discuss things with Culver again. Henderson at second base, 1 man down, 6-3 Houston leads. They give Gallagher the left field line. They play him shaded to the right. Henderson has his lead. Culver's pitch to Gallagher, a fastball strike on the inside, 0-1. Culver has the sign on the target from Hyatt. 1 strike pitch. Strike 2 call. Nothing in 2 count to Alan Gallagher. Al argued with Paul Fryer on that. Fryer argued right back. Gallagher is behind on the count, 0-2. Culver working in front of Gallagher, 0-2, delivers. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Gallagher is out on strikes, and Chris Arnold, or Dave Rader it is. Dave Rader, a left-hand batter, will come up to swing about here, with Henderson at second base and 2 men out. Rader batting for Bryant in this 8th inning with Henderson at second, 2 men down. The Dodgers got a 2-run homer from Willie Davis, lead 12-1 after 8 innings over San Diego. Left-hand batting Rader. Waiting is Culver. Delivers. Fastball inside for a ball, 1-0. Raiders had 4 major league at bats last year. It's up for his first time this year. Had a pretty good spring. He was hitting the ball hard. 1-0 count to him. Strike. 1-1. strikes the count. Raiders trying to keep things going with 2 down there in the bottom of the 8th. Henderson moves away from second. 1-1 pitch to Raiders. Bounded, fair ball down the foul ball. Foul ball. Down the third base line. That ball, a bounding ball, Raiders slipped and fell. And the ball was foul when it hit past third base. Johnny McNamara is arguing that it was fair as it went over the bag. It hit foul, but McNamara was arguing that it was fair as it went over the bag. That was a twisting foul ball. Raiders slipped and fell. That was going to play to run. Time taken as fans throws an orange or something out on the field. Rusty Staub. One and 2 count to Raiders. Culver's into the stretch. Henderson leads from second. Outside for a ball that's 2-2. Hyatt again goes out to say something to his pitcher. 6-3, Houston in front. Bottom of the 8th, Henderson at second. Raiders batting for the pitcher Bryant with 2 men out. Culver looks back at Henderson. Comes to the plate. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left on. At the end of 8 full, the score is Houston 6 and the Giants 3. Now taking a look at the rest of the scores, the Mets beat the Cubs 2-0. As Tom Seaver and Bert Hooton hooked up in a battle, with Seaver winning it. Hooton gave up a base hit to the first man he faced today after pitching a no-hitter his last time out. As the Mets, 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, to the Cubs, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The Pirates beat Philadelphia 3-2. Hernandez the winner and Short the loser. Davalillo homered for the Pirates in the 10th inning to win it. McCarver and Money hit home runs for Philadelphia. Montreal beat St. Louis 2-1. Stoneman the winner. He's 2-0. Wise the loser. He's 0-2. Cincinnati edged Atlanta 4-3. Nolan the winner 2-0. Reed the loser 1-1. Carty and Evans homered for Atlanta in a losing cause. The Dodgers lead. Let's see. They had 10. They were ahead 10-1, and a pair of home runs by the Dodgers in the 8th. 12-1 they lead in the 8th inning. In the American League, Baltimore 6, Cleveland nothing. McNally pitches his 2nd consecutive shutout. He is 2-0. Boog Powell hit a grand slam home run for Baltimore. Wilcox was the loser. Texas beat California 7-6. Boston the winner and Wright the loser. Frank Howard hit a home run for Texas. Nelson hit one for Texas also. Detroit at Milwaukee postponed because of rain. Boston edged New York 5-4. Culp the winner. Stottlemyre the loser. Mercer homered for the Yankees. And in an NBA playoff, New York now leads 3-1 over Boston as the Knicks beat Boston 116-98. John Morris comes in to do the pitching for the Giants in the 9th inning. He will go to the top of the order. Bryant went 1 inning, gave up no runs on a hit. Left-hander Morris, in his 2nd appearance for the Giants, delivers the Metzger low for a ball. .30-year-old left-hander. Giants got in a trade with Milwaukee. Ground ball to the left side. Good hop to Spire. Throws the first, and that's out number one. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
When you want to hear the sounds of the city, listen to the Dan Sorkin Show from 10 to 1 right here on KSFO in San Francisco. The sound of the city.
Cesar Cedeno cracks the first pitch foul to the left, strike one. Tonight's paid attendance, Secretary Frank Berganzi, passing along the word that 16,898 fans paid admission here. Fine crowd this evening. The Giants will be back tomorrow and Sunday. Sunday is bat day, of course. We had said that Marichal was going to pitch Sunday. He will not. Steve Stone is going to pitch Sunday. Cedeno fouls the ball at the plate at strike two. 6-3, Houston leads. Morris trying to hold them right there so that the Giants will have no bigger deficit than 3 runs to make up in the ninth inning. Morris 0-2 pitch to Cedeno. Fastball makes him jump out of there, and it's 1-2. Dodgers defeated San Diego 12-2. 1-2 count to Cedeno. Popped up foul out of play. Morris in front, 1-2 to the right-hand batting Cedeno. Sounding ball up the middle. 20s and Fire in front of 20s. Throws the first and gets him. Kingman with a big stretch at first base. Kingman stretched all the way out and then tumbled over after making the catch. As Fire, that ball in front of 20s, and 20s comes up limping. 2 men down. Jim Wynn takes the strike. Wynn has a single and 4 trips to score a run. Takes a curve low for a ball. It's 1-1. Giants down by 3, 6-3. Top of the ninth, 2 men out. Morris, 1-1 pitch to Wynn. Inside, ball 2. Outfield deep into the left. The Giants will be at the top of their order. In the bottom of the ninth inning. Drive to deep left, and you can forget that one. Jim Wynn tracked a home run to make it a 7-3 ball game. Houston jumping on the Giants here tonight. Lead by 4. Now it will be Lee May who has a home run in 4 tries. That home run by Wynn is first of the year. Mays was also his first of the year. Takes a strike, 0-1. Seven to 3, Houston leads. Pitch comes all the way back to the screen, and it's 1-1. One and one count to Lee May. Curve in the dirt, ball 2. 2-1. Two-one offering, fouled away to the left. 2-2 to Lee May. Baldy Parker fields that one in foul territory. 7 runs, 9 hits, an error for Houston. 3 runs, 4 hits, and 4 errors for the Giants. Count of 2-2 to May. Right-hand batting first baseman of Houston Astros. The Giants down by 4. Morris delivers a fastball, brushes him back at the full count of 3-2. Here's Morris's 3-2 pitch. Swung on and hit deep to left field. Henderson goes over. This one is going to twist foul and is back in the stands foul. Count of 3-2. Morris into the windup. His pitch popped up. Foul and playable for Kingman. Giants first baseman makes the catch and the side is retired. In the ninth, the run on a hit, no errors, and no one left on. We go to the bottom of the ninth, and Houston leads by a score of 7-3. I'd like to talk to you guys about your wives, about something they might be missing. No, don't worry, I'm not about to play marriage counselor. I just want to remind you that your wife may not have a Bank of America card of her own. You know how useful your Bank of America card is to you. Well, if your Bank of America card is useful to you, it can be just as useful, maybe even more so, to a woman. Say, for instance, she gets into an emergency situation with the car when you're not around. A Bank of America card could really come in handy. Or what about the end of the month when you want to know where all the money went? If she'd used the Bank of America card, she'd have a written record of all her purchases. Think about how you can cut down on the time it takes to write all those separate checks. Add it all up and see if you don't agree. Your wife should have a Bank of America card, too. Bank of America cards. Think of it as money. His and hers money. The Giants will go to the top of their batting order. Spire, Woody, and Mays. And they trail by 4 here in the ninth inning. Spire has 1 hit and 4 tries. Bluffs the bunt, takes a strike. Curveball, strike 2. Culver doesn't appear overpowering, but he throws strikes, moves the ball around. Giants have to get something going here. They're down by 4 in the bottom of the ninth. Pitch is low, bounds away from Hyatt. Count of 1-2 to Chris Spire. Chris flied out his first time, doubled off the fence in left field. His second time popped up in the 4th inning and safe on an error in the 7th. Spire waits for Culver's 1-2 pitch. Low for ball 2. Culver slowing his pace. Now works 2-2. Line drive to right field. It's in for a base hit. Spire has his second hit of the night as Jim wins. Throws the ball in. That is the Giants' first hit since Bond's single in the 5th inning. And their 5th hit of the game. Now Tito Fuentes, who had singled, flied out, lined out, and walked, and scored a run. Bases Culver. Fred Gladding starts heating up in the bullpen for Houston. 7-3. The Astros lead. The Giants have a base runner to start things off in the ninth. Rader plays up close at third to guard against a possible bunt by Fuentes, who takes a strike. Fire at first. Nobody out. Culver stretched for the one-strike pitch to Fuentes. Outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Giants needing a lot of base hits here in the bottom of the ninth inning, down 7-3. Fire's lead. They're not holding him on. Ball 2, too low, 2-1. Culver asked Pryor to check with the third base umpire, Ed Vargo, who said no, Fuentes didn't swing at it. 2 balls and a strike. Tito batting left-handed against right-hander George Culver. Mays on deck. The lead at first by Spire. 2-1 pitch. Dribbled out. No, it's foul ball. Hyatt trying to field that ball. Dribbled right at the plate. Paul Pryor says it was a foul ball. Fuentes will come back with a 2-2 count. Pryor retreats to first base. The Giants get a break there, as that Hyatt was going to have an easy chance on Fuentes at first. Culver in the stretch for the 2-2 pitch to Fuentes. Found it maybe a double play to Metzger. Second for one. The throw to first. Not in time. Fuentes beats it out at first base, but Fire is cut down at second. Now Willie Mays robbed of a home run in the first inning, walked in the third, grounded out in the fifth, and walked again in the seventh. His walk in the seventh, fourth in a run. That RBI moved Willie to just within one of Mel Ott on the Giants' all-time RBI list. Up here now with the long ball. Could make him the number 1 RBI man in Giant history. Pitch to Mays. The curve is a strike, 0-1. Outfield deep and around to the left. The Giants trail 7-3. Mays, then Bonds, then Kingman. Giants big men in the middle of the order can do some business here. Pitch low to Mays, and it's 1-1. Houston out hitting the Giants 9-5, outscoring them 7-3. Tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock, Don Carruthers for the Giants. Dave Roberts for Houston. A stretch by Culver. Mays takes low, ball 2. Culver working behind, 2 balls and a strike. One is at first with 1 down. Mays fouls it away. An inside pitch, and he fouled it back into the seat. Culver is really a master at getting the hitters leaning one way and throwing the ball the other. That time he got that ball right in on Mays' fifth. 2-2 count to Willie. Culver ready to work 2-2. Swung on, line drive into center field, coming over Cedeno. He's there to make the catch, and 2 men are down. Mays hit it pretty hard, but it was an easy chance for Cedeno, and the Giants are down to their last out now. Bobby Bonds will be the batter. Bonds has 1 hit and 4 tries. Giants have had their chances. Bases loaded back in the 7th inning. Bases loaded in the 3rd inning. Bonds bluffs the bunt, takes a strike. Down 7-3. Houston would move past the Giants into second place with a win tonight. Bonds takes a curve that's low for 1-1. The fans down below us not giving up. They're yelling, go, go, go. Well, you got to get 3 men out in an inning, and the Houstons have retired only 2 Giants, so there's still hope. And there's not much now as Bonds pops it up behind second, and Helms will wait for this one, makes the catch, and George Culver has done it to the Giants here as he retires them in the ninth. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a runner left on. The totals on the game show Houston 7 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. The Giants 3 runs on 5 hits and 4 errors. The winner is Jim Ray, and the loser is John Cumberland.